STEMM CCS is an acronym for a project called Strategies for the Environmental Monitoring of Marine Carbon Capture and Storage. Carbon capture and storage is collecting a waste product, waste carbon dioxide from industry or power stations, liquefying it and storing it in some type of geological feature. As we move towards offshore marine carbon capture and storage, we have concerns about release of CO2 from these reservoirs, and if there is such a release, we need to be able to ensure that we can find that release and also quantify how much CO2 is being released from the site. The STEMM CCS project has got sort of two approaches. One is to actually look at the existing geological features in this case the North Sea, that may act as leakage reservoirs, and combined with that we're actually looking at ways of developing cost-effective ways of doing baselines, so we can analyse large areas of the seabed over relatively long periods in a real cost-effective way. So STEMM CCS is looking at developing technologies and using existing technologies to actually observe large areas of the seabed to ensure that should leakage occur from a carbon capture and storage reservoir, then we can pick it up quickly and we can act upon that information. So working above the Goldeneye reservoir, which is a shell gas field, we're going to be putting a series of experiments in place which combines a series of lander systems which will sit on the seabed with a whole array of sensors and samplers on board. We're then going to also be, for the first time ever, drilling just underneath the seabed to a depth of 2 meters and releasing an artificial CO2 stream. So this will simulate what would happen at the seabed should CO2 be released from the storage reservoir. We're then going to throw every tool in the box at it to try and detect that release, to quantify it, and to actually work out exactly what happens to that release when it enters into the seawater. What we're looking for is any sort of areas where there may be sustained release of CO2 from the seabed. So we're looking at a very complex problem, and the issues around release of CO2 into the environment and ways of detecting it and quantifying it bring together a phenomenal team of people. We need chemists who can look at the process whereby the CO2 will dissolve into the seawater. We bring in biologists to look at the potential impacts of that CO2 on the marine environment. Engineers to design our seabed structures, which we'll put our detectors on. And even geophysicists who will look at the existing structures in the seabed to work out whether they can act as future leakage pathways. And then we wrap it all up with modelers to try and work out what will happen into the future should this CO2 be released into the environment. So the STEMM CCS project, to achieve its aims, needs to pull on expertise from all around Europe. It's the only way we can bring in the best out there to work on this challenging problem.